Hello, Eric the Car Guy here, with an update on this 1999 Civic, which I did the engine job in last year. Well, it's back with the exact same problem, and it's a result of the exact same issue, and that it got run absolutely dry on oil soon after it failed. So I've been posting a couple of these pictures on my Facebook, and a lot of you have commented on it. I don't see the need to actually make yet another engine R&R video for this. So I'm just going to give you the highlights, which is the damage, which is what we all want to see anyway. So first we'll overview the scene, and then we'll look at the damage, because this time I'm doing it in my new shop, and I've got to say, the extra space is very helpful. So let's have a look at what we got. All right, we'll start with the engine compartment. I did the exact same thing and pulled the engine and transmission out all as one unit. Just folded the engine harness over there. A lot of you had commented the last time that I could just unplug a bunch of stuff. Well, as you can see right here, the harness goes down underneath and there's nothing to unplug, so I had to go underneath the intake manifold and do it that way. The only external plug was actually up in this area right here. But yeah, and the second time, well, things came apart a lot easier. I took the radiator out this time also, which was kind of a mistake, because when I took this bolt out, it broke. I had to drill and tap that out, and crap, I should have made a video about that. But this is the car. Now I'm doing the same thing I did last time, and just removing everything. I've got a new short block, well, long block, I'm sorry, down here that came with absolutely nothing, including no oil pan, so I'm having to do it. This time it's getting a rebuilt engine. Let me show you the plugs real quick. Okay, these are the spark plugs as they came out in the cylinders. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, I actually pointed this out in another video, the no crank, no start video. But as you can see, there's deposits on these electrodes that indicate that this tan powdery substance is actually burning oil. So anytime you see that, that's pretty much a pretty clear indication that oil is burning. This plug is more normal, so number 4 was burning as it should. And if you compare it to the one right next to it, you can see that it was burning a significant amount of oil. They didn't check the oil, ran it dry, and here we are. In fact, check out that video about no crank, no start for details on that. Okay, now for the really ugly stuff. I don't know if you can see down inside this pickup, but it's completely filled with little bits of the engine. Once again, the crankshaft or the connecting rod came around and beat the heck out of the inside of this cage here. And in fact, when I go to separate the transmission from the engine, this one's being completely locked up. I'm going to have to pull the torque converter out of the transmission because I can't rotate the engine and get it around. There is no more connecting rod on that journal. It's that bent thing that's up next to it. So that's pretty disgusting. So yeah, you can see all the crap down inside there. And once again, we have where the connecting rod was beating against the inside of the block. It didn't run for long enough to actually put a hole in it this time, but same result, same thing. Look, number 1 journal heated up in the exact same way as the other engine. You can see there's no like residue. It got so hot that it burned off all the oil and everything that was on it. Let's not forget about the chunks inside the engine. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the show Gold Rush Alaska, but it's just like panning for gold. You can actually see the babbitt from all the bearings sort of shining up there. So that's what's left of the bearings inside the engine. Okay, I know you wanted the rest. Well, here's the rest. Here's the ouchie. Ouchie. Tops of the pistons. You can also see this crust build up here. That's also a darn good indication that oil is burning inside there. And what happens is, in the oil control rings, there's 3 sets of rings here. And this bottom set with this wavy ring on the inside here, on the top and the bottom. Behind this ring is some holes. And sometimes those oil return holes will get clogged up, because actually what these oil control rings do is they scrape the inside of the cylinder wall and basically channel oil, excess oil, back down into the piston and out the bottom. When they stop doing that, then sometimes
excess oil builds up on top of here and gets into the combustion chamber, and rings and everything else wear out shortly afterwards. But oh, you want a closer look at that? All right, well, I'll pull this oil control ring out of this piston. Actually, let's use another one. I want to keep this one intact as a trophy.
Check it out, it's a broken piston party. Dun, 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 dun. We're all busted because we had no oil. All right, here we have our piston over at the bench. Wow, that's what's left of the bearing. It's completely cooked. There's nothing left there. So in other words, this is now a paperweight. To get rings out, it's actually not that difficult. You just find the gap, open it up, and sort of walk it around the outside. Poof, you got upper compression ring. In fact, you don't even need the screwdriver part. Whoops, I broke it. Lower compression ring, so be careful not to break these, but that's basically what you do. You just sort of work them around like so. And you can see these gaps have actually, you know, there's one gap here and there's one gap here, have gotten kind of close together. Come on. Once again, same drill. Sort of twist them out. And please don't say, why are you ruining those rings? Please don't do it. Because it just doesn't matter. So yeah, you've got three sets of, well, you got three rings here. You got the upper compression ring, you got the lower compression ring, so you got two sets of compression rings, and then the three oil control rings, and wasted bearings. Now down to what I'm talking about. I hope you could see this in here, which yeah, it looks like you can. On some engines, in fact some engines are kind of known for this, but when you extend your oil changes, this is what happens. This gook builds up inside these ringlands, and it will clog up these holes. So what happens is the piston's moving up and down inside the bore. This ring here provides space, and these other rings on the outside scrape the inside of the bore and draw the oil into this area. Once the excess oil is drawn into this area, it goes through these holes, like I said, through the inside of here. In fact, you can almost see like little trails of where the oil was tracking down the inside of this piston, and eventually makes its way back down into the crankcase. Another interesting hole that should be around here somewhere, yeah, there it is on the connecting rod. There's oil that's pressurized and goes up past this bearing into this connecting rod and out this hole, and basically squirts the bottom of the piston. So the oil from this comes up on the inside of here and puts oil up inside the cylinder wall and the backside of the piston to help cool it and lubricate it. And then the oil is controlled, or the oil level, the amount of oil, is controlled via these holes on the inside of this and the oil control rings. So there's a nice little lesson for you on how oil control rings work. So on the thrust surfaces of the piston, that's what these are called. This is the piston skirt. And so as the piston moves up and down, these are the parts that push against the inside of the bore the most. And this is obviously your connecting rod and your wrist pin. That's the other part there. So we're learning all kinds of stuff from our broken Civic now, aren't we? Yeah, this rod is a little bit bent. Just a wee bit. So I've got all kinds of cool paperweight toys from this job. Lots of fun indeed. Well, I am having loads of fun, but I just wanted to give you just a quick little update on this 1999, and by the way, this is a Y8 block for those of you who care. So it's a VTEC, but not a VTEC. So in other words, a single overhead cam VTEC, not dual overhead cam VTEC. And I can give you a real quick lesson on how to identify Honda blocks. Okay, a quick lesson in identifying Honda block numbers for 4 cylinders. This is where the exhaust manifold would be, and this is where the transmission mates up. So on the front of the engine here, there's this boss, if you will, on the engine block. And this will tell you, like if you hear somebody say a B18 or something like that, this is a D16Y8, and that basically designates the block that is used here. And these blocks are kind of expensive and hard to find. But yeah, so like if it's like the Integra or like the Integra dual overhead cam, those start with a B. Those are the B series. This is a D for the D series, but Y8. So if you're looking to identify a Honda engine block, look at the front. Like I said, this would be the exhaust manifold here, and it's stamped right into the block right on the outside. Well, I have plenty more work to do, so I'm going to get to it, but I hope you enjoyed this little update on this 99 Civic with a Y8 block that I'm replacing for the second time, because for the second time it got run low on oil and died. But this time we're going to use a reconditioned engine, so this engine's been remanufactured. It wasn't just, I never liked this engine when it showed up. It had just been sent through a steam bath and then spray painted, because you can see the inside. That's what it looked like inside. And that's before any issues with running it low on oil. It looked like that. Anyhow, I'm Eric the Car Guy. You can always find me at EricTheCarGuy.com or follow me on Facebook and Twitter and now on Google+. And around here I close with be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.